What's going on, everybody? I want to welcome you to this week's episode of Terrance and Mike, the Sleeping Giants podcast, presented to you by Double ETV. Mike, what's going on, man?
Not much, man. What's good?
Everything is good, man. I see you rocking the Oakland. Well, actually, it's Las Vegas Raiders now, man. So you're a Raiders fan?
Oh yeah, more so the old school Raiders, Oakland. And no disrespect to, Vegas or anything like that, but I'm more so an old school Raiders fan.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Okay.
definitely.
Yeah. That's what's up, man. Bro, Super Bowl, man. Super Bowl. We got Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, Mary J. Blige, Eminem, and Kendrick Lamar. What are your immediate thoughts when you saw it, man?
Man, I think it's gonna be an amazing show. In recent years we've had some questionable Super Bowl halftime performances and some that were decent as well. I think some of the ones that I remember as a recent The Weeknd did one. I think J Lo and Shakira, and if I'm not mistaken, Justin Timberlake did one some years back as well. But there's been some mixed reviews. I know Maroon 5 did one as well. So there's been some mixed reviews on how people feel about all of those, but I definitely think this one has the potential to be one of those that we could look back and consider an iconic Super Bowl performance. What about you? What you think?
It's gonna be crazy, man. I'm a big Prince fan. To this day, I still think Prince has had the best halftime performance that I've seen.
I feel that.
Man, just the whole Purple Rain and actually rain. It was like it can't get no better than that. And then for Dre and them to be in LA doing this one, it's gonna be crazy.
Yeah.
I, actually, when I went running last night, I was listening to the Chronic too, and then I listened to a couple records off the Chronic. So I was just trying to envision what songs that Dre and Snoop are gonna do. Uh, Also, him and Eminem, maybe they're gonna do "Forgot About Dre" or it could
Hmm.
be some other records. And then obviously with Kendrick and Mary J. Blige, it's gonna be an epic performance. I'm definitely looking forward to it. And it's Dr. Dre, so Dre is gonna pull out some type of epic performance. It's just gonna be something that's over the top because that represents who he is.
Absolutely.
Yeah, man. So everybody was talking about Diddy and Dre doing a versus, and then Dre is doing the Super Bowl, man. So his mind is just always like ahead of the curve. It's gonna be crazy, man. And he knows the pressure on it, but that's Dre anyway. He put so much pressure on himself for the projects that he does to be up to standard and be classic. So I know the performance is gonna be the same thing for sure.
I agree. And, the fact that we're actually seeing him out here for this Super Bowl performance could possibly lead to a future Dr. Dre versus Diddy or maybe some other producer, a type of versus scenario that we could see in the future. So I think it's a, great thing all around. And I look forward to seeing how it all goes down.
Yeah. Yeah. I've been hearing talks for a minute that Dre is working on a new album. So, and then his birthday is February 18th. So I
Okay.
wouldn't be surprised after the Super Bowl, because most artists do this after the Super Bowl. Either an album comes out or like a new song, because that's almost what a couple, hell, probably close to 1 billion eyes on that
Hmm.
particular performance from the rating standpoint. So all of them may
Absolutely.
drop music, what I'm saying, for that particular following week, man. It's going to be crazy.
Yeah, big
We're
fact.
going to transition to Ghostface Killer, Supreme Clientele 2, produced by Kanye West and Mike Dean. What were your immediate thoughts about that?
Oh man, I think that's got classic potential. Ghostface, is MC who's been around for a long time. His associations with the Wu-Tang Clan, being one of the members, and some of his Supreme Clientele is one of his albums that's regarded as a hip hop classic. So, with him linking up with Kanye and Mike Dean on this one, I'm hoping that we get some of the sample based Ghostface, where he raps over sample based beats. I think that's his, for me personally, that's my favorite bag for him. And, Kanye excels with the sample based beats. So I think that could be a very nice combination depending on where they decide to go with the production wise. But I'm excited. I hope it's not a 7-song album in the vein of like the Nas and the Pusha T album, even though Pusha's album was great. And I enjoyed that Nas album too, but I hope it's a full album instead of a 7-song, but we'll see.
Yeah, yeah. I definitely agree with you. That's a song that Ghostface had together, baby. That sample is crazy.
Yeah.
Love that song. Another song of his that really stands out to me is a record him and Raheem Devon did. It's
Hmm.
crazy, man. So yeah, I mean, Ghostface is definitely his pen is crazy. He's a legend. So I'm looking forward to the album because you know certain guys you already know what they're gonna do from a pen standpoint, and then
Absolutely.
it's just like normally it's just making sure they pick the right beats, and then for Kanye and Mike Dean what they do from a production standpoint, I think that's gonna be like a good marriage. So we on definitely on track for 2022 to have a great album with that.
Absolutely.
We'll transition to 21 Savage. The breaking news is going on with him. I know you're more up to speed about it than myself, so I'll go ahead and pass it to you, man. What are your thoughts about what's going on with 21 Savage right now?
Okay, well, I'll keep it short and sweet. Basically, he was brought in on drugs and weapons charges. He actually turned himself in. And from what I understand, the warrant was requested by ICE. So this is once again a second incident or run-in that he's had with ICE. He was released on the same day, and he's done a couple of he's done some things since. I know there was talk about him and Young Boy and something else that Young Boy had going on with another rapper. I want to say it's Lil Durk, maybe. I can't remember exactly, but he's out and doing fine. But definitely, you know, it could have been a lot more serious. And when you hear that, you know, an artist that's known like 21, or even someone who's been in that light because of the ICE situation, then you definitely want to extend your thoughts and prayers to him and his family. Hope that everything works out. But from what I hear, like I said, he turned himself in that day. He was released that same day on bond, and the warrant was requested by ICE.
Mm. Yeah, man, our thoughts and prayers with him, and I hope everything works out for him. Yeah, man, it's just a lot going on, and Juice World, man. I just think about losing someone like as talented as him so early, man, and then you already know it's like a target on these guys' back, and but you can't imagine the lifestyle because I remember when Benny got shot like a year ago, so I
Yeah,
know obviously the guys try to keep weapons on them just for protection or potential robberies and stuff like that. So my thoughts and prayers with him, man. Bro, this next thing, man, this I hate to even talk about it, man, but the whole situation with R. Kelly, man, it's just it's crazy, man, because someone like him, his pen and what he's done, not only from his own catalog, but the artists that he's wrote for and just
absolutely.
iconic music, man, just to see him in a cell, man, and just see him potentially in this situation is just like one of the saddest fall from graces that I can even think about, man. It's I mean, what are your thoughts about the whole situation with R. Kelly?
Well, I mean, the rumblings and the rumors about some of his activity had been out for years, way before the Surviving R. Kelly documentary or any of that. There had even been people in the industry who've spoken about it. It's funny, I was watching a video talking about the Nas and Jay-Z beef not too long ago.
Mm-hmm.
And around the time when Jay did Best of Both Worlds with R. Kelly, Nas had went to I want to say maybe Power 105 or one of those stations up there. I don't think it was Hot 97 though, but I think it was Power 105. He
Mm-hmm.
went to that station and had said on the interview that that he thought it was foul that Jay was working with with R. Kelly and based on some of the things that have been going around in the business about him. So from what I understand, it's something that's been known about for a while. And if the accusations are true, of course, that anyone who does something like that deserves to be brought to justice. The victims deserve, their justice. And, like you said, it's a sad situation.
Right.
He's definitely someone who's written songs for a lot of people, one of the most talented songwriters, probably, of a generation, honestly.
Yeah.
But at the same time, sometimes when people have, a lot of attention, a lot of fame and publicity, it goes to their heads and they abuse their power and they abuse their position. And that's what it looks like was the case in this situation.
Yeah. Facts, man. Yeah. I mean, and then just the whole thing with Aaliyah, it's just I don't know. It's the whole thing is just crazy, man. But I'm hearing talks. I don't know how accurate it is, so don't hold my feet to the fire. I know we try to deal with receipts and not just rumors, but word on the streets is he's even looking to snitch on other people within the industry, just to save himself, man. So maybe other people he's trying to take down, kind of like the whole scene in New Jack City when Nino Brown got caught. Like this thing is bigger than Nino Brown, so like he's trying
Absolutely.
to. So
Well, I mean, Weinstein was one of those people,
facts.
so obviously we know he's not the only person that's out here abusing their positions of power, but at the same time, you know, to be, like I said, someone who's so, respected and idolized as a songwriter and as a musician, to
Right.
abuse that power is just wrong. And anybody who does it in any, entertainment field deserves to be,
Right.
deserves the consequences that come along with that. So
Absolutely, absolutely, and yeah, it's bigger than him for sure because we're dealing with women in the Hollywood being abused by directors and
absolutely.
producers and modeling agencies and you name it. So it's so many industries where abuse and things take place. Again, I wasn't there, but again, I don't even go any further than the whole Aaliyah thing. To me, that's just like crazy. But also, you know, you just have to move a certain way, man. And a guy like him obviously could have so many women that will be willing to just be with him, and it's just the
Exactly.
whole underage thing is just crazy to even hang around someone underage, yet alone be accused of sleeping with them. We'll move on from that. The whole Kanye West taking Chris Brown off of the Donda album, man. What are your thoughts about that?
Okay. So Chris Brown was not the only person taken off Donda.
Right.
There was a performer by the name of Casey Pluto. I think Casey Pluto was on the song "Keep My Spirit Alive," and Casey Pluto's vocals have been removed completely from the song "Keep My Spirit Alive," and Kanye is now singing the
Mm-hmm.
portion that Casey Pluto sung.
Right.
And the Chris Brown song. Let me look at my notes real quick. Sorry about that.
No, you're good.
The Chris Brown song was "New Again,"
Mm-hmm.
and Kanye once again is also well. There was a choir on that song as well, but Chris Brown's vocals have been completely removed from the song. So it appears now, if you look at it on like a Spotify or something, you'll see two versions of Donda, and the newer version it will be the one without Casey Pluto's vocals on uh the track I just mentioned, Keep My Spirit Alive,
Right.
and without Chris Brown's vocals on the New Again record.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I
yeah,
mean, for me,
interesting.
yeah, for me, it's not so weird because I'm a big Dr. Dre fan, and that's just how a lot of albums are done. I mean, these guys. I mean, when an album is made, sometimes artists may be recording up to 80 to 100 songs. So a lot of times,
Exactly.
writers and singers and certain verses may not work, or they may feel like they're not getting what they want, or they may feel like, hey, I want to, maybe I want a woman on the song instead of a guy. So it's just not always like set in stone when people do like a quote unquote collaboration, because the person who's creating the album, they're still trying to figure out what they want. And you remember he made so many tweaks and changes when he had all the different concerts, a couple in Atlanta and one in Chi-Town. So he was definitely looking for what he wanted. So that's not so weird to me, because I remember when we had rumors of Dr. Dre doing the whole Detox album, and there was all kinds of records leaking left and right from T.I. to Ludacris to Nas had a verse on what was it, Top Off or whatever. And then Eminem had one. So yeah, I mean that's kind of normal when people working on albums. So I'm not sure if something else had transpired for Soulja Boy or Chris Brown to take it so personal. I do get it in the sense of if they're working on their albums and then they take time off to work so hard, because if you're doing a feature and you're doing something for Kanye West or you're working for Dr. Dre, the process is probably real tedious, and how they want it to be, and the performances, and there's so many takes. I remember there's a group back in the day, I think it's called Rolls Royce, and they did the song Car Wash. And I remember watching like a documentary about it. Originally, a guy was singing that. And
interesting.
And I think what happened was it was so tedious, he just didn't want to do it no more, because like the producer was just like, it's almost like 100 takes or whatever. And they ended up just using the female to do it. And I remember like some other songs and stuff too, where the people did like 100 takes of like the song, and then the producer just ended up using take one. But it's tough for people. It's not for everybody. And I think at one point May's sister was gonna be I think she sung or whatever, and she wanted to be on Bad Boy, and Mace just told her like, no, like this ain't for you, because that process, man, when you working with Puffy or Dre, Kanye, or just certain producers, it's a tedious process, man. It's not one of those, let me go in here and knock this out in 10 minutes. Like, no, it's a tough process. And so I'm not sure why things were taken so personal. But again, maybe something else is going on that we don't know about between Kanye and Chris Brown. 2021, man. Who stood out to you so far as producers of the year?
Let's see. Well, I mean, Alchemist was all over the Boldy James album. I think he produced that from top to bottom. He's also in recent years, he did Freddie Gibbs, Alfredo.
Yes.
And there's another album he did this year by a guy named Dave called Haran. Or actually, I'll take that back. It's not Dave. His name is Armin Hammer. And the song is called, or the album's called Haram. And it's got some very interesting, sample-based beats, his type of vibe on it. So I haven't finished that album completely, but I definitely think he should be in his name should be mentioned when we start talking about the producers of the year. And also, obviously, Kanye West for Donda, him and Mike Dean, what they did on that project was pretty ridiculous. Sonically, being able to, make a blend of so many different sounds and make it, cohesive and work was, I think, a great thing. What you think?
Definitely Hit Boy stands out for sure. I mean, Keen's Disease 2, even though Keen's Disease came out last year, but KD2 for sure. And just Hit Boy too. I mean, just like Alchemist has been on a run. I mean, Hit Boy did an album for Benny. I think him and Dom Kennedy's got something new coming out. So Hit Boy, man, he's definitely found a lane, man, where he's just he's killing it. And I mean, you've talked about this on previous pods, but his verse on Composure, I think he's finding his own lane, not only as a producer, but like as an artist. Like he's just getting better and better. and I think he's on the cusp of doing something of echelon, like Dre did the Chronic, or Kanye with College Dropout. So I think we're gonna get something real special from Hit Boy, as far as his own work. But producers of the year, yeah, his name definitely stands out. Um, yeah, he's
Absolutely.
killing it, man. He's killing it.
Absolutely.
What are your thoughts, man, about Lil Wayne and Rich the Kid dropping a mixtape called Trust Fund Babies?
Oh, well, I haven't had a chance to listen to it yet. Just dropped last night. That will be October 1st.
Yeah,
Just in case, I'm not really sure when this episode is gonna drop. But yeah, October 1st.
right.
It's got 10 tracks, YG feature. And Wayne, has been on one of those historic Wayne type runs this year. I mean, he's blessed tons of tracks with ridiculous verses. He was on Tyler's album. Uh, who else? He was on. He just released a
Run the
remix of Ooh
Jewels.
La La with Run the Jewels.
Yeah,
He's on G Eazy's album,
right.
Drake's album, obviously, and several other people. Az, several other people as
Yeah,
well. So he's been on one of those types of runs that definitely it makes you understand why there's a group of people who think that Wayne has a legitimate case to be the GOAT. And he's on one of those runs that shows, his prowess as an MC. So, I'm excited to see it. Grateful for what we've gotten from him this year. And I look forward to hearing the mixtape to see what they do on it.
yeah, yeah. I definitely look forward to it. I always tell people, I mean, my favorite MCs, all those guys are older now. I mean, they're in the late 40s or whatever. But of this young generation of people who are, I guess, 30-ish and younger, like Rich the Kid, he's that guy for me. I like his music a lot. Freezers, just a classic record with him and Kendrick. But yeah, man, he's a special MC, man. I look forward to checking out that particular mixtape. Big news in the D. Eminem opens up a restaurant called Mom Spaghetti. So yeah, man, I saw the pictures. I heard the interview with him and Jude. Yeah, man, I'm excited for it, man. As a matter of fact, bro, just looking at the pictures, man, it's like, man, that food looks good, man. What are your thoughts about Eminem opening up a restaurant?
Yeah, I thought it definitely was a shady thing. From what I could see from some of the videos and pictures that were out there, they had a section with merch,
Yeah,
records, different things like that that you could buy.
right,
Um, the menu didn't look very extensive, but I mean it's
right.
spaghetti. To be honestly, I think there may have been maybe 5 to 6 items on the menu,
Right.
all for what seemed to be a pretty affordable price from what I saw as
Yep.
well.
Yep.
Uh, and it's in Detroit, so I think that's going to give a lot of people out there opportunities for jobs. I
Yeah.
wouldn't be surprised if it becomes a hangout or a spot where celebrities, when they come through Detroit, will be wanting to visit and wanting to stop by and check it out. So I think it's a dope way to promote some of the things that he's got going on as well. He just released they just released a song for the Venom soundtrack, which we'll
Facts.
talk about later.
Yep.
And yeah, just
Yeah.
it's good to see him back outside again, honestly.
Yeah.
So yeah, I thought it was cool.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Yeah, it definitely makes me just look forward to many more things that he's doing, and it's good to see him business wise just doing something outside of music, because he could be, man, he could probably easily be pushing 1 billion if he like was just focused on other things besides music. And I've heard 50 say numerous times that a lot of like other things just don't interest him. He's turned all kinds of bags down to do stuff and movies
Hmm.
and all kinds of things, because music is just like his calling. So it's pretty dope, man, to see somebody that music pulls them that much, that money is just not everything, but the music is. All right. So we got album reviews, man. We got the Migos. We'll start off with them. Culture 3. I started off before you do. Man,
Okay.
I liked it, bro. I like the project. Not gonna lie, it's my first time listening to a Migos album. I was very impressed, man. I was very impressed. It was on the long side, but it was good though. It did keep me engaged. So I know Kanye got a lot of flack from some people, like, man, Donda's got 27 songs, but lately the Migos, because they had like a deluxe, I think it's probably close to those amount of records. G-Eazy's album has a lot of songs on it as well. So, you're starting to see artists, give you more than just 10 records these days. That, they're starting to really go back to like putting out complete albums. So what are
Yeah,
your thoughts about Culture 3 and what tracks stood out to you?
yeah, man. The longer the album, the more streams. So you got to get them streams in. But I enjoyed the album altogether. You know, it was the first Migos project that I listened to from top to bottom. I heard, obviously, everybody knows who Migos are. I've heard several songs before now, but I enjoyed quite a few songs on the record. I thought it ended very strong, in my opinion. I thought the last,
Mhm.
uh, 5, 6, 7 records
Facts.
were
Yeah.
were
Yeah.
very, very solid in the way that they set, the stage for how the album ended. So I thought that was dope. Highlights for me were Avalanche, Straightening, Picasso, What You See, the Justin Bieber track, surprisingly was fire to me.
Yeah.
Um, Jane was dope as
I love
well.
Jane. That's my favorite record.
And Needed, the Young Boy track. I like that one too.
Yeah. Yeah, I like
Yeah,
Antisocial with Juice World.
yeah, for
Jane
sure.
is definitely my favorite record on the album. It's funny you said what you said, man. Because I've noticed that too in certain albums. Because me and you, since we've been doing this pod, I've been listening to a whole lot of albums. Like more than I probably
Absolutely.
would regularly listen to, and it just seems like a lot of these albums, like I don't know, like the latter half, and a lot of times, like towards the end, maybe like the last 5 or 6 records, like it really gets strong on some of
Hmm.
those. So I don't know if they're like sequence them that way to kind of hit the quote unquote crescendo and like build up to it, or like a preacher is preaching a sermon, he may start slow and then hoop and holler and finish it out. Maybe they building it up like that. But yeah, the
Hmm.
last 5 or 6 records on a couple projects lately, I've noticed like the latter half of the album is just like really, really done well, man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
very solid project.
I like Working a Fool a lot and Menace. Yeah, man. I mean, the Migos got busy, man.
Yeah, they did.
Definitely, it's definitely worth listening to for sure.
Absolutely.
We'll transition, man, to the one and only Dick Gregory soundtrack. So I know you're gonna go crazy about Lupe on there.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, my boy, shout out to my boy Lupe. Um, I thought it was I wasn't really knowing what to expect coming into it. I thought the first track was cool, Temple, nice way to open the project up. Lupe to me went ridiculous on Big Energy. Uh, Definitely probably my favorite song on the album. What else? Big Crit had a nice song with Think Blink Twice. That
Mhm.
was right after Big Energy, if I'm not mistaken. Other highlights, I enjoyed the Get Down track with Static Selector and Talib Kweli.
Yeah,
I really
nice.
enjoyed that. I like the Bobby Sessions track, Still a Ways to Go as well.
Yeah.
And for the battle rap heads out there, your boy Devon Campbell was on the My Nigga track from this album, which for those of you who may not be familiar with battle rap and know, Devon Campbell is Daylight. So we got a song with Daylight on there as well, which was dope. His verse was dope.
Yeah.
So yeah, all in all, a lot of solid songs. I thought it was well put together. It was better put together than I expected it to be,
Hmm.
just from maybe from listening to the first couple tracks, you
Hmm.
know. But yeah, I enjoyed it. What
Yeah,
you think?
man. And that record you're talking about, it features Terrence Martin. He's a
Absolutely.
West Coast legend, man. Like production wise, he's done a lot of work for Snoop, Kendrick Lamar. He himself is a dope MC. So yeah,
Big
shout out
fact.
to him, man. Yeah, Lupe went crazy. I like the record with Crit that you mentioned, and Static and Talib. I like that record a lot
Yeah.
too. My favorite song on the album is from a young lady by the name of Danny Baylor. She has a song called "Show 'Em All." I love that record.
Yeah, that was fire.
Her vocal is so fire, and then I like how she used like a little snippet of a speech that Dick Gregory gave about this younger generation can help solve America's problems. And yeah, it's just it's a very easy listen to project. It's definitely something worth listening to. And any person that's watching this podcast, if you don't know who Dick Gregory is, shame on you. You definitely need to do your research about him. He's a
Absolutely.
legend, someone I had the privilege and honor of meeting, and you know his legacy and a lot of the stuff that he talks about, we still see it manifesting day by day. Every time you turn on the news or something, I can always think about something that Dick Gregory spoke about.
Absolutely. Still
We'll go
prevalent
next.
today.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. We'll go next to Jack Harlow. That's what they all say. What are your immediate thoughts about that project?
Okay. I enjoyed this project. He's got a lot of singles out, so I think most people are familiar with the singles. And this album did drop December of last year, but we are reviewing albums for the full calendar year. So anything from December of last year to the end of December of this year, we is open game for us to cover. So that's why we are covering
Yeah,
Mr. Harlow. With that being said, my standouts I thought were I think it's pretty, like I said, the singles are pretty obvious. Tyler Hero was a huge song for him.
yeah,
Obviously what's popping, uh the original and the remix.
right.
Uh he had the Way Out record with Big Sean that's doing pretty good numbers.
Dope.
Already Best Friends with Chris Brown. And one that I really enjoyed, stood out to me, was Love Is Dro with Static Major, and I think Bryson Tiller was on that record.
Yeah, yeah.
I
Facts.
really enjoyed that record. Different type of vibe from
Mm-hmm.
him. Uh, and yeah, it was pretty smooth. Like,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah,
All in
yeah.
all, I thought it was a solid project. What you think, though?
Yeah, yeah, facts, man. I mean, you know, you can tell he's you know, he's gonna get better and better. I saw some sessions and some pictures with him and some different artists. Drama, you know, DJ Drama. I saw a picture with him and DJ Drama in the studio. So I'm not sure if that's like a mixtape or what that's about. Definitely I saw him like rocking the crowd, man. He was like performing somewhere recently, and it's like the fans were going crazy. So he's definitely got a cult following already. So yeah, Jack Harlow, man, he gets busy. Two records that stood out to me a lot. I mean, I do like the Tyler Hero record a lot, and obviously
Yeah,
what's popping. My two favorite records I would say is Route 66. I love that record.
yeah,
And then he
that
had
was
another one
fire.
called Same Guy with Adam Levine from Maroon 5. So it's a
Yeah,
great listen to, man. I definitely enjoyed the album a lot. I didn't get a chance to listen to it when it came out, but that's the thing about music, man. Whenever you know you get to it, you get to it. So I
absolutely.
definitely enjoyed it.
Yeah, for sure.
Um, we'll transition to Benny the Butcher, Trust the Sopranos, 83 edition. What are your thoughts?
Uh, this was the album says Benny the Butcher and 38 Special. Benny is on the album, but I think he's only on two or three songs. So we get maybe two or three verses from Benny. This really feels like I don't want to say a compilation album, but in a way, it
Yeah,
does feel like a compilation
right.
album. There
Exactly.
are a lot of people who are associated with Griselda on this project. Some are actual members of Griselda. Um, so yeah, we saw Ransom on this project. A couple of new guys that I've never heard of: Chase Fetty, Am Pacino. Shay Nor was on this track or on this album as well. I love Shay Nor. She had one of the best albums of last year, produced by Apollo Brown. If y'all haven't heard that, y'all check that out.
Yeah.
But yeah, highlights for me were Price of Fame. Really enjoyed that one. Spineless, I thought was dope. Tokyo Drift and Love Left. Really enjoyed Shay Nora's verse on Love Left. She killed it. So yeah, 8 songs, not a very long project, but yeah, I enjoyed it.
Yeah, man. Facts. Facts. Yeah, I mean, Benny, man, he's definitely like been on a great run. We've already touched on two of his albums already on the podcast. He's just building, man. He's getting better and better. I don't ever like to kind of say who I like best because they're all different and unique. I mean, I think Benny is like the sleeper, but he's like a silent sleeper, man, because he's dope. And Conway does what he does. And then if you want to, because we always kind of compare them a little bit to like Wu Tang
Yeah,
and like West Side, his voice is so different. So all three of those guys, man, they just do a great job of what they do. And then the artist pool that they're like building up, like all of them are getting busy, man. Um, Speaking of West Side Gun, he's back with Side B. Hitler Wears Hermes. Bro, I love Side A so much, and it's like I was still trying to study that album and really get into that one because I really enjoyed it a lot. And then he comes back with like even more songs on Side B, man. So the West Side, man, he's like a visionary. What he does not only with the albums but the artwork, and he puts like a lot of thought process into it. I
absolutely.
always enjoy like his skits. You can tell that the guy's a big wrestling fans because most of the skits have some type of commentary from wrestling. But
Absolutely, yeah.
Stove God Cooks, man, like he got so busy on side A, so it wasn't any surprise to see him back on side B. But I was very impressed with the project. We got a J Electronica verse. Forest Lawn is a record I like a lot with Two Chains. And I've noticed that Two Chains has been doing a lot of features for Griselda lately.
Yeah,
Uh,
he has.
yeah, man, those two stand out for sure for me on the project. But West Side is just maybe he's ahead of his time, man. I don't know, like if some people appreciate him like they should, because I mean, Pray for Paris arguably is
That's a
still like one
classic.
of the top albums from like I still I would still put Keen's Disease ahead of it, but I mean, but he's definitely in like the top 5 albums of 2020. Pray for Paris,
Absolutely.
crazy.
That's a classic.
Yeah, man.
And I just think his ability to craft albums, his ear for samples, like you said, the attention to detail that he puts into and even as far as the artwork and different things like that, like you said, he definitely is a real visionary. He's a trendsetter and all of those things, that I think a lot of people who get into rap aspire to be. He's definitely that. Um,
Facts.
for me, uh, my highlights from the album were "End How You Start,"
Mm,
and this was just a track with no music, well, no rapping, but more so music in the background and the person speaking, kind of like dropping some game on you. And I loved it from top to bottom. Just real like game that you could soak up and use, and apply to your life. So I thought
right.
that was not only dope, but a great way to start the album. Hell on Earth 2 had Beanie and Conway on it. That was fire. Free Cutter, the J Elect verse was bananas. J Elect once again jumping on people's projects and going crazy as he did on Donda. So, that was cool to see. Uh, one second.
Mhm.
And so after that, we had Richie's. I thought was dope. Forest Lawn had Two Chains and Armani Caesar. When I
Right.
first heard that track, I thought that Armani Caesar was Nicki Minaj, and I'm sitting back like, "Yo, how does bro have a track with Two Chains and Nicki and
Yeah.
it didn't even make the A side of the album. Like what?
Right.
So I went and looked at the track list, saw that was Armani Caesar. Shout out to Armani Caesar. I have definitely heard of her before and was aware of her, but yeah, her voice, she tricked me this time. I thought she was Nicki at first, but they both snapped. That was a great track. I like the Why I Do Them Like That. Oster Tag was fire.
Mm.
Stove God snapped on that.
Oh yeah.
99 I'm not gonna try to say the word because I think I messed it up. But it's the song with Stove God and
Right.
AZ. That one was fire as
Yeah.
well. And the fly who couldn't fly straight, Tyler. That track was dope as well. And I enjoyed Big Al with Wrong Street. So
Right.
honestly, it's a really solid album.
Yeah.
I went back and re-listened to it today because I think I listened to it maybe a week or so ago,
Right.
and I went and re-listened to it today and was surprised by how many songs that I liked on it, especially on the second listen.
Right.
So yeah, very solid album.
Right.
Uh,
Yeah, and
extremely
the
solid
beats are
album.
crazy on it, bro. I would argue. I think maybe I like side A better, but I think the production on side B is a whole lot better. Like them beats are crazy, man. Like I don't even know who some of the guys. I know he always, works with Derringer. He has stuff with
Yeah,
Alchemist, but
Derringer, Big
uh,
Ghost,
yeah,
all of them work with basically same producers in most cases. So yeah,
right,
and
yeah,
from what I understand, 38 Special actually produces some of their stuff as well.
yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah, the beats are crazy on that album, man. So shout out to West Side, man. I'm
for
sure
sure.
this is October, so I'm sure by December we'll get another album. Man, we'll close out our album reviews with D Smoke. And definitely just because we put him last, hell, he may be first. Bro, this album is crazy, man. I want to give this young man some props, man, because from a production standpoint, bro, this is like the biggest compliment I could give somebody. Now, I'm not saying that this album is better than Illmatic because it's not, because Illmatic is probably, in my opinion, the greatest hip hop album of all time. But this album is in that vein, man, because like what he did from a production standpoint and like some of the jazz things and just the way he put this thing together. I don't know how long it took him to put this album together, man. There's no way this guy could have this album in no 2 weeks or something like that because West Side always say he never spends over a week on his albums. D Smoke, man, this thing had to take some time, man, because like the production on it is nice. You can tell he put a lot of attention to bars. I mean, certain like me and my cousin, like when me and him talk, we always have like one or two things that kind of stands out, and we'll almost talk about it for years or whatever. And it's just certain bars that he said about like a torn meniscus and stuff. I'm thinking like this guy's mind is just somewhere else, man. So shout out to D Smoke, man.
Absolutely.
Probably my favorite record off the album is Common Sense because of that jazz
Yes, sir.
sample at the end. I love
That's
it, man.
crazy.
I can listen to it all day. Good Thing with Ty Dolla $ign is a good record.
Fire. Fire.
I love the production that he did on Clockwork. Oh my goodness, man.
Yeah,
That
that's
beat right
fire too.
there is crazy. So I want to, shout out to him, man. I know he put a lot of effort into this project, man. He's definitely someone that I know this is not his first project because he's done some other ones before, but
Yeah.
it definitely makes me want to like go into some of his other catalogs and bodies of work. What are your thoughts?
I mean, absolutely. He had an album I think that came out last year called Black Habits. It was in the Grammy nomination uh, category last year.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
definitely he's not a stranger to putting out very well produced and well thought out bodies of work.
facts.
Um, for me, I think my highlights would have been War and Wonders. That's the title track, obviously.
Mhm.
I enjoyed Shame on You. Find My Way with Toby Nwigwe and the BJ the Chicago Kid was dope. Crossover with West Side Boogie. It's probably my favorite song on the album.
Mm.
Also, Stay True to John Legend record
Yeah.
was great. I really enjoyed that one.
Fact.
You mentioned Common Sense with his brother Sir. You mentioned Good Thing with Ty Dolla $ign. I enjoyed Sleepwalking with Fireboy DML. That was my first time hearing of Fireboy DML, but it kind of gave me like a Afrobeat, almost like a Whiz Kid type of vibe.
Yeah.
So I really enjoyed that. I thought that was dope, and I like what Smoke did on the record himself.
Right.
Clockwork with Marsha Ambrosius, you mentioned that one. Definitely enjoyed that one as well. And Free Write, the last song, I like that one as well. So, not really. If my only critique, I wasn't crazy about I think the song's called Road Rage, maybe. Wasn't crazy about that one, but I can understand the significance of having the song on the album. Right. I think it's one of the, like you said, production wise, I think it's one of the best produced albums I've heard all year. Lyrically, he is going off on every song, and his subject matter, I think, is not only just thoughtful and thought provoking, but just different. He's attacking some subjects and things that other people aren't talking about. So I commend him just for that. And when we continue our discussion on top albums of the year, I'm sure he will find a spot in my top albums.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean, like I was saying about West Side's album, this album, War and Wonders, is produced very well. I mean, it's a masterpiece. And I don't know if it's just me, but his voice, man, it's kind of, he almost sounds like Kendrick to me a little bit, just cadence wise and flow wise. I mean, did you kind of pick up on that, or what do you think?
Oh yeah, definitely. He's had the comparisons before. If you're not familiar with D Smoke, for anyone watching, he was on a show on Netflix called Rhythm and Flow. It had Cardi B, T.I., and Chance the Rapper. It was basically a contestant game show for rappers, and basically, you would go through a battle royale style competition, and whoever came out on the end would win $1 million contract, and all of that kind of stuff. And D Smoke was the one who won. It was a a lot of talented people in that competition as well. So shout out to everybody on the show, everybody associated with it, and D Smoke. But yeah, I definitely have heard the Kendrick comparisons before. And there's a lot of people out there, I think right now. I can name a couple people I think of that you could, if you listen to their music, you could probably say have some type of Kendrick influence.
Right. Yeah. I remember that show you talking about. King Los made some appearances on there too, man.
Yeah, he did.
New music of the week. We'll hit these kind of fast, but we got a couple new songs out. We got the Venom soundtrack. We got a song with Skylar Grey, Polo G, Mozzie, and Eminem called Last One Standing. It's like a motivational type track. What are your thoughts about that one?
Yeah, wasn't really expecting this pairing of artists. Wasn't expecting, well, I really don't know what I was expecting the track to sound like, honestly. But I heard it and I like it. Polo G was fire, Mozzie snapped, M snapped. Skylar Grey was good on the hook and did everything she needed to do. It's a very solid track, honestly. So I really enjoyed that one.
Yeah, facts, man. I'm a DC Comics guy, but Venom, man, I like Venom. I like the first one a lot. Me and my wife went and saw it, so I'm definitely looking forward to seeing the sequel. It's funny too. It's not so serious, the movie. So I look forward to checking out the sequel. And yeah, the song is great, man. I got a chance to been hearing more stuff from Polo G lately. I was introduced to Mozzie off of Snoop's album he put out this year called From the Streets to the Suites. That's my first time hearing Mozzie. That record with Snoop and Mozzie, definitely check it out. There's a video for that too. You get appearance from Madonna in the video and Gary Payton too. So
Oh
Definitely
wow.
check out that particular video. Yeah, Mozzie's like upcoming guy, and M does what he always does, man. He goes last, but he snapped, and I liked a lot of stuff that M was saying, that people look at the success that you have, but don't necessarily look at the struggle and what it took for you to be in that particular position. So it's a great song.
Yeah,
We got another
definitely.
song from 50 Cent, Snoop Dogg, Moneybagg Yo, and Charlie Wilson called "Wish Me Luck." What are your thoughts about that one?
Yeah, that song's from the BMF soundtrack, or well, I won't say soundtrack. It's the opening song for the new BMF series on Stars.
Yeah,
Executive produced by 50 Cent.
right.
I like the hook. 50's verse was dope. Snoop's verse was fire.
Oh
I
yeah,
don't know why, for some reason, it felt like Moneybagg's verse was off to me. I don't know, maybe if that was one of those scenarios where he recorded the verse, sent it to the engineer or whoever, and they didn't put line the verse up properly to where it was supposed to go on the beat. I really can't say, but it just felt like it was kind of off to me. And you know, that's no disrespect to Moneybagg. We just reviewed his album not too long ago, and it's one of my favorite albums of the year. I thoroughly enjoyed it, but I don't know, that one just didn't hit for me. Money Moneybagg just didn't hit for me on that track. But overall, I thought it was cool though. What you think?
yeah. It's good to see 50, drop a new verse. So hopefully, I know he's so busy, hell, doing about 10 shows right now, but hopefully he can squeeze in some time to at least do a like an EP or something. But hey, props to 50, man, because he helped executive produce that Pop Smoke album that we got last year, and he put
Yeah,
that album together nicely, man. So yeah, Snoop snapped, and Charlie Wilson is, he's a legend. I love everything he
absolutely.
does, and yeah, Moneybagg was cool. So yeah, it's a easy listen. I think they're working on like a little soundtrack for the TV show, so it'd be
I wouldn't be
interesting
surprised.
to see what's next. We got a new
Definitely.
song from G Easy and Demi called "Breakdown." What are your thoughts about that one?
Yeah, not very familiar with G Eazy's catalog. I've heard songs. Um, I actually enjoyed this one. I thought it was dope. His verse was cool, or his verses were good. Demi Lovato's hook was good. I thought they meshed well
Hmm.
on the song, and the video production wise
Yeah,
was quality. You know,
definitely.
and the song I thought was quality production wise and mix wise and everything. It sounded good. So
Yeah.
yeah, I surprisingly, not that I thought I wouldn't enjoy it, but I was surprised as to how much I did enjoy that track. It's pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm definitely sure that's something we're gonna hear on the radio a lot. Like you alluded to, the man, the video, like they spent some money on it. We had talked about Belly a couple weeks ago, and I was talking about how he opened up the budget. He really spent some money on his music video. So you're starting
Yeah.
to see artists get back into that particular bag of spending money on music videos. Next we got a song from, oh, and by the way, I do like the song too.
Okay.
We got Rod Wave with Already Won. What are your thoughts about that one?
Uh, uh, Similar to G Easy, I've heard of Rod Wave. I've heard songs. I've never listened to a full project. Um, I heard the song. Lil Durk was fire on it. I enjoyed his verse very much. The track, I think, has a new edition sample. Can You Stand the
Facts.
Rain? If I'm
Yep.
not mistaken,
Yeah. Yeah.
that was dope. I'm a big fan of samples, so if you want to get my attention or my ear on the track, just start with a dope sample. So I enjoyed Rod Wave's performance, and I, I would kind of. This is just random. I kind of want to see him and not Mozzie, Moray. I'm sorry, him and Moray on the track together. I think that'd be real interesting.
Yeah.
But but yeah, all in all, I thought it was dope.
Yeah.
What you
Yeah.
think?
Yeah. Yeah. Same thing. I feel the same thing. We got Joyner Lucas and J. Cole, Your Heart. What are your thoughts, man?
Okay, Joyner and J Cole. Well, for most people who are fans of Joyner, they are probably aware of the fact that Joyner said a few years ago that J. Cole was his favorite rapper. So just from that standpoint, to get Joyner and J. Cole on the track together, I think was exciting. I like what both of them did. They kind of took different perspectives on relationships and men's roles in relationships. And yeah, I mean, you know, it's a real song. This ain't necessarily a bop as far as something that's gonna have you dancing in your car, but it's definitely a real song, something that's thought provoking and gonna make people think. I thought they both executed it well. The
Yeah,
video was well done. Joyner's videos are always well done.
facts.
Um, so yeah, just good stuff once again.
Yeah, same here, man. I don't have anything to add. Everything you said, I co-sign 100%. Um, lastly, Common and Black Thought, they dropped the music video for When We Move. It's dope, man. It put me in the mindset of almost like a Soul Train type of vibe. And I like the video, how they had the women dancing in front of the records. I like Black Thought, kind of on the whole Huey Newton type of vibe.
Yeah, that was fire.
Um, just some of the clips they showed of Muhammad Ali and Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and just other black heroes. It's dope, man. It's very well done and very well put together. Like but I always enjoyed Common's music, music videos as well. What are your thoughts?
I mean, I really don't have a lot to add. You basically said everything that I was going to touch upon. So, yeah, I mean, very well done song, very well produced. They both, as far as Common and Black Thought, snapped. Uh, as you alluded to, the images of black heroes, just beautiful black women, just an aesthetic that really puts you in the mindset of where I think Common was when he made the song. So I
Yeah.
thought it was well executed. And before we get too deep, I do want to mention, I'm not sure if we mentioned this earlier or not, but Meek Mill did drop an album, surprise album last night as well. And
Facts.
if you don't mind, I'd like to touch on that
Yeah,
just
yeah,
for a second.
yeah. Oh yeah, go ahead. Yeah, I was gonna
Okay,
add that into our news. Yeah, yeah. Go ahead. Go ahead.
okay. So yeah, Meek dropped the album Expensive Pain, 18 tracks. It's got features from Lil Durk, Lil Baby, Kaylani, ASAP Ferg, Moneybag Yo,
Mm,
Young Thug, Vori, who was on the Donda album. He was all over Donda. Who else? Lil Uzi Vert is also on it. Brent Fires, one of my personal favorite R&B artists right now. Gigs is also on it. Not very familiar with Gigs, but he's got some interesting names on the feature list. So yeah, like I said, this just came out yesterday, October 1st. We haven't had a chance to listen to the album yet. We will review it in a later episode. But yeah, shout out to Meek, and we look forward to seeing how that project sounds and talking about it in a later episode.
right. Yeah, yeah. It's definitely something I'll listen to. I'll probably listen to Wayne and Rich the Kid tonight, and check out Meek tomorrow. Did he just drop this like a surprise type of project? Because I haven't
Uh,
heard like any singles or anything. I have seen like the artwork everywhere though.
well, I actually looked it up earlier, and from what I understand, the original release date was later in October, and maybe I'm not sure what made him decide to drop it earlier. Maybe he was just tired of waiting. Who knows? But
Right.
I think this one came out earlier than it was originally scheduled to be released. So yeah, I think it was in that sense kind
Right.
of a surprise.
Okay. All right. Dope. Dope.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. We definitely look forward to checking it out. Got two pieces of news that we'll get into before we go to our artist spotlight. 50 Cent's BMF, man. What are your immediate thoughts?
Yeah, I watched the first episode. We just talked about the theme song. I thought was dope. Uh, Obviously, it's one episode, so they're not going to get super deep. But the ending was definitely left you on a cliffhanger, um, without any spoilers. Yeah, I'm excited to see what the show has in store. I'm very aware of the BMF story, and knowing that 50 has so many other shows that he has working on, Power, Book of Ghosts, Raising Canaan, For Life, you know, I know that they picked a good person to be the executive producer of this, and
Mm-hmm.
that 50 is going to make sure that it's well thought out and everything's done in a tasteful manner. So I
Right.
look forward to seeing how the rest of the series plays out, and different things like that. But yeah, first episode was definitely worth tuning in, and that ending will definitely have you on the cliffhanger and wanting to tune in for episode 2. So
Right. If I'm not mistaken, isn't Meech's son starring in this particular
yes,
yeah.
yes, it is.
Yeah, man. So that's dope, man. And yeah, 50 is just television, man. He's figured it out, man. He's like Power and Sons of Anarchy. Those two shows, man, are just like have just changed television. And now he's like taking it up a whole nother notch with, book 2 of Power and For
Hmm.
Life and just now with BMF. So yeah, man, shout out to 50. He's got Snoop on there. I know M is gonna make an appearance. So yeah, 50 is doing it, man. I know he's
Yeah,
got
man.
more projects and films and stuff that he's working on. He's even gonna be in the new Expendables movie.
Oh
And
wow. Okay.
yeah, so 50 is doing it, man. What are your thoughts about Boosie Badass releasing his biopic called My Struggle?
Well, I've yet to see the biopic or biopic. I heard about it. I also heard recently that Boosie's IG was taken. Uh, I think Ti posted a screenshot from his Twitter, basically saying that his IG was taken, and still please support him and buy 2 copies if you can.
Mm,
So, obviously we don't want to see any brothers, progression or opportunity to feed their family be prohibited.
mm,
So I hope that everything works out with him and the sales and the way that he is able to market this and promote it. I know without social media, especially IG,
right.
that could take a big hit when it that could cause a big hit to
Sure.
your sales when you're trying to market. So I
Right.
hope everything works out for him and they get that figured out. But yeah, I'm sure we'll talk more about him and the biopic and all of
Yeah.
those things in a later episode.
Yeah. I definitely check it out before we film again. Man, we'll close out, man. Before we close out, we're gonna hit every episode we do an artist spotlight. This week we're gonna hit on a legend, man.
Yep,
Tech Nine, man. I mean, Calm Before the Storm, Killer, KOD, The Storm, Planet, Fear Exodus. He has a new one out called Plight. He's the founder of Strange Music. Legend, man. I mean, legend. What are your thoughts about Tech
absolutely,
Nine, man?
man. Like you said, legend. Well respected within the rap game. I'll give a brief synopsis on him. Born and hails from Kansas City, Missouri. In 1991, he formed a group called Black Mafia. Saw glimpses of success with the 57th Street Road Dog Villains and their first single, Let's Get Fucked Up. Uh, Also, he signed to Perspective Records in 1993, but however, that disbanded later on. He moved to J Core Records and 1997, he joined a group called The Regime with Yuck Mouth. He's been featured on several soundtracks, video games, all kinds of things like that. He was also on, which was one of the biggest posse cuts back in the day, the Anthem by Sway and Tech in 1999. They had RZA, Eminem,
Mm-hmm.
Exhibit, Pharaoh Monch, J.O. Felony, Chino XL, KRS-One, Coogee Rap, some of the biggest names in rap, especially
It's
when it
crazy.
comes to the lyrical side of it. So yes, later that year, he and his business partner founded Strange Music. He also released an album in 2001 called Angelic. The next year, he released his album Absolute Power, and that one was on Strange Music. And from there, he started to release his projects on Strange Music. Some of my personal and while I'm on Absolute Power, that debuted at number 79 on the Billboard 200, and he was as we just spoke, he and a business partner founded Strange Music. So that's pretty much, the independent grind. There was no major label or
Right.
anything like that in play. So I thought that was pretty special. So even, some people may not see 79 as a big deal, but 79 from an independent label first release, I thought that was pretty dope.
Yeah.
To get into his albums, just some of my favorites I thought were Psychology 101. He had an album called Bitch, which the acronym for Bitch is Breaking Into Colored Houses. Some very dope songs on that one. Also, Special Effects and Strangulation are probably my favorite tracks or projects from him. Uh, he's done features with everybody from B.O.B. to Big
Mm-hmm.
Crit, CeeLo Green, The Doors, The Game, Kendrick Lamar,
Eminem.
Serge Tankian from System of a Down, as you just mentioned, Eminem, T-Pain, Trey the Truth, Snow the Product, Wiz Khalifa, Corey Taylor from Slipknot and Stone Sour, Lil Wayne, Two Chainz, T.I. Hobson, E40, Yo Gotti, and Audio Push. So,
Yeah.
and he cites his influences as NWA, Public Enemy, Boogie Down Productions, Eric B. and Rakim, Schoolie D, Just Ice, The Doors, Jim Morrison, Led Zeppelin, Elton John, AC/DC, Metallica, Floetry, which wouldn't surprise me, but I love Floetry too. Outkast, CeeLo Green, and Gnarls Barkley. So yeah, like you said, a real legend,
Yeah.
known for his chopper style, is the way that they refer to the fast and the kind of choppy syllable
Right.
rap style that he does. It's been on West Coast Choppers, almost every edition that they've done of that. One
Yeah.
of the one of the fastest rappers, if we're talking about speed, that's known out there, and just an all around legend. So
Yeah.
shout out to Mr. Yates, aka Tech Nine.
Yeah, man. He's a legend, man. And he garnered so much respect. He says Eminem never even charged him for a verse, man. So that
Oh
shows
wow,
you, yeah, that shows you, how much respected he is. So shout out to Tech Nine, man. I like Speed him a lot, and just
Speed of the Fire.
yeah, just he's I don't know, man. It's that guy. We can just go down a we could do a whole show about his bars and syllables. But one thing about him, man, like he's not only speed rapping, but he's saying stuff, and the stuff he's saying is just like so over the head, man. So shout out to him.
Yeah,
Want to
speaking
thank
of
every
him saying stuff, I
yeah,
really enjoyed one that we haven't mentioned. I really enjoyed the track that he had with Kendrick, "Fragile." I
yeah,
thought that was really dope.
facts,
Probably one of my favorites. If I when just favorites when I think of Tech Nine, I think of that song a lot. So yeah,
facts,
shout out to
facts.
Tech and shout out to Strange Music.
Yeah, man. Hey, Mike, throw everybody your IG, man.
Okay, so we got M1C underscore CH3CK. Mike check. The I is a one, the E is a three, underscore in the middle. That simple.
All right. And you can check out Terrance Hill on Facebook. Make sure you like the page. Also, my Instagram is Terrance Hill the Great. You can go to YouTube and look for Terrance Hill Music. That's all one word. And also be sure to like and subscribe to this particular page as well, EETV Media, and be sure to hit that notification bell. I want to thank everybody for
Absolutely.
tuning in for this week's episode of Terrance and Mike, the Sleeping Giants podcast. We'll see you on next week.